girlfriend's 25F weight is causing a riff in the relationship I 26M have with her. We've dated 4 years. It's not even on some meat-headed thing about me being on her case and dragging her to the gym. I'm very much live and let live. Everyone's body is their own choice. That being said, I just don't like how there's no consistency with her and her arguments and her views on it. Yes, she's put on a considerable amount of weight in the past 3 to 4 years. Where I get tripped up and where the fights start is she swings so rapidly between I'm overweight, but that's fine, my body is my choice, deal with it, and then 8 minutes later she's texting or calling me begging me to help her get in shape. As soon as I start to help she decides, this is too hard and gets back on the I'm overweight, that's fine, and you'd be a jerk if you broke up with me mindset. I just wish we had a solid, cemented stance of, either, help me lose weight or I'm overweight and that's okay. I have no intention of leaving her over it, I'm just frustrated her narrative shifts every 10 minutes. Too long didn't read, my girlfriend's indecisiveness about her body is causing fights. Your girlfriend is ashamed of her body. When someone is operating from a place of shame, it's often easier to ignore the problem, do nothing or give up, or pretend that they're happy the way they are. I say this as a fat woman. It's only by learning to appreciate my body and its functionality and beauty that I'm learning to treat it well through consistent exercise and eating to fullness rather than feeling stuffed. When you're operating from shame, weight loss is punishment for the sin of being fat. But that's not true at all. Feeding your body a variety of food that make you feel good and moving your body joyously are gifts you can give your body. Unfortunately, your girlfriend needs to get to that place on her own. Losing weight varies from person to person. She needs to have the mindset and discipline to follow through her weight loss plans. The only way to help her is to keep encouraging her and never show any negativity. Give her a compliment or perhaps a white lie she lost some weight. Show her exercises and don't go too hard. Baby steps is the best way. If she gives you any negativity, turn it into a positive. I make it a point to never mock, bash, bring up in a malicious way, her weight, her body. I know negativity won't help. This doesn't sound like a weight problem, maybe emotional. She sounds like she could benefit from therapy. It's unlikely she'll make any changes without some assistance, preferable professional. There's probably a lot to unpack here. I have, at times, wanted to lose weight and get in better shape. I found that my partner trying to help me do this was overwhelming and I associated them with the daunting task of weight loss. I am having a lot of success in losing weight right now with my current partner, and how he treats the situation is ideal for me. 1. He treats me exactly the same as before, frequently complimenting my appearance but not specifically mentioning weight. 2. He gets really hype about my progress in terms of the effort I have put in. Having the effort recognized rather than the result is a lot more positive for me. 3. He never brings up weight loss, eating healthier, etc. He just expresses his support for whatever choices I want to make. Like if he wants pizza and I say it doesn't fit in my calories for the day, then he suggests we eat something healthier. If I suggest pizza, he is not going to say, "Don't you think we ought to eat at home?" Both can be supportive depending on the person, but the last phrase personally would stress me out and make me feel overwhelmed and judged. 4. Completely non-judgmental when I cheat or slack. Cheating or slacking is part and parcel of long-term changes. I've lost 10 pounds in the past 2 months and it feels quite sustainable. Smiley face. Silent background support, to me, is a lot healthier for me. Maybe you could suggest to her that you honestly think she looks great and it is up to her if she wants to make any lifestyle changes. You are going to be there to support her and do whatever she wants to do, but you aren't going to be the driver. Depending on your financial situation, maybe you guys can agree to pay for a personal trainer or nutritionist to help her get started. You could set the tone yourself, whether she starts in on either side of the coin. Keep your response simple and to the point. It's your body, I'm with whatever you choose to do. ETA, sounds like she's struggling internally and until she gets that worked out the cycle continues. If one ever gets their internal struggles worked out. I wouldn't take it personally though, easy to say. I agree with everything you're saying, the roadblock is, she flip-flops to both sides of the coin. I can't get an answer out of her. There've been times, where it'll be maybe like on a Sunday she decides to start dieting, exercising. On a Monday morning walk, she decides to do away with the diet/exercise and go back to the sedentary lifestyle. Ex-BF of 4 years cheated entire relationship, just found out how to recover. Hello fellow Redditors, I am here looking for any advice possible. My long distance relationship, me 31F and him 33M, just ended in the most dramatic and difficult way possible. We have been long distance for the past 2 years as he has been doing a traveling job as a chef. I've trusted him completely for the entirety of the relationship. We had our ups and downs, but I was incredibly dedicated and faithful to him and believed we would be together forever. Quarantine has been hard on both of us with him in Chicago and me in Seattle. We were unable to spend it together because I have 2 dogs and he was still working in Chicago. We went a straight 7 months without seeing each other but communicated non-stop. Surprisingly, it was the best 7 months our relationship has seen since being apart. We were so close, or so I thought. We had decided around July after a long conversation that it was finally time to close the gap and have me move to Chicago. I told him I couldn't spend any more time away from him, and with his job finally being in one place and not touring, he agreed. I flew to Chicago and we spent a week looking for a new home together. It was great. I returned to Seattle and started making plans, finding a job, a home, a ceramics class, all in Chicago. I booked movers, told my landlord, everything to set myself up for the transition. We finally found a place to rent, together, by September and planned my move for October 1st. I spent so much time packing and planning. Moving across the country is a lot of work and I did it alone. He became a bit removed, but he also started online school at the time, so I thought he was just stressed. September 30th rolls around, the movers show up and pack everything into the truck. Boyfriend was arriving that night and we would drive across the country the next day together. He texts as usual that morning and says he's headed to work. I'm busy all day and finally call him at the end of the day when he should be getting to the airport. He doesn't answer and promptly call me back 5 minutes later and reveals the news he isn't coming, and he says the worst possible thing he could do is allow me to move across the country to Chicago. He breaks up with me, all in a 20-minute phone call, then blocks my number and tells me to essentially leave him alone. No explanation given. I'm completely devastated, lost, confused, alone, and full of emotion. I frantically call my sister who lives in Texas to console me and help. She's a few months pregnant but doesn't hesitate to hop on a plane the next day with her husband to fly to Seattle to help me. They decide it's best to drive me back to their home in Dallas where we can figure out what I will do with my life next. I have no home, no belongings, no job, nothing left. Finally, after a full month of not responding to me besides a text here and there, the ex-boyfriend resurfaces in a response to my sad breakup email I sent him a few days after the phone call where he broke it off. He says he was unfaithful emotionally and physically the entirety of our 4-year relationship. He confesses to sleeping with multiple girls. He says he's downplayed our relationship to everyone because he was just never really sure what he wanted to do with his life, but at the same time he didn't want to lose me. Essentially, I'm devastated. I need help. I've decided to move to Nashville to start clean, but how do I rebound emotionally? How do I ever start another relationship and fully trust again? I feel like the last 4 years of my life are a complete lie. He tore me apart financially and emotionally. How do I cut him out of my life completely? And finally, how do I ever trust another guy again? Any advice on where to go from here is appreciated. Too long didn't read. LDR boyfriend of 4 years broke up with me the day before I was moving to be with him, after giving my entire life away to move. Just found out he cheated on me the entire time. I'm sorry op. I went through something quite similar. Cheated on, job lost, home lost, pet lost, etc. It took me a week, but I decided to do the right thing for myself, which was to take a hard, deep look at who I was and who I wanted to be. Spent the next 3 months closing the gap. This was the most painful time of my life, but after month 1 of intense work on myself I became happier, I forgave myself and I started to like myself. Month 2 things improved, new friends, new place, new hope, and by the end of month 3 I was happier than I had ever been in my life. So my suggestion to you is the same. You have a boat today. I fucked up a clean slate to make yourself and your life whatever you want it to be. As a side note, I refused to date during this period because I know myself. Having someone else would distract me and make me want to please them instead of focusing on myself. Secondly, the kind of person I wanted to be wasn't one who would bring emotional baggage into a new relationship. I know this is probably a small consolation, but at least he was honest in the end. You have no reason to pine for him. He made it so very easy to hate him. That being said, I can imagine this is still incredibly difficult for you. Don't replay the sweet parts of your relationship in your head. Don't allow yourself to wander deep in the night about who he was with, what he did and how it happened. That will torture you. Do go over some of the relationship with a fine-tooth comb to see the red flags you missed. Did you ever put in more effort than him? Were there times where you just had a gut feeling? If you can't remember anything, don't beat yourself up. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes we just get played by the people we love who are supposed to love us. You did nothing wrong. You were vulnerable, open-hearted and kind. That's how you're supposed to be in a relationship. And you know what? That's how you will be in relationships moving forward. Why? Because with true vulnerability comes the greatest rewards. It's how you fall in love again. It's how you find the one. It's how you forgive yourself. It's how you forgive him. It's how you move on and live the best life you can. My grandma once told me Nashville is the city of music and pure love. Pure love. Be that in the friends you make, or the person you meet who makes you believe again. May you find the purest love there is. Blessed be. You talk to a lawyer. He made promises and cost you thousands of dollars. He owes you for his deception. Definitely. Are you able to get your stuff back? Question mark. Your op says no belongings, so I'm worried about that. I'm so sorry. This is tragic and you did not deserve this. Take it one day at a time. Talk with those close to you and take care of yourself. Something that helped me a lot is meditation. I just sit still with my eyes closed and slowly breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth. Whenever I'm doing that, the pain stops and I feel peaceful. Another thing that helps is journaling. Write down all the things you are feeling. Write down all the hurt, all the grief, even all the good times you remember. Allow yourself to feel it. You've been put through a lot from no fault of your own. Anyone who tells you it's been long enough or just get over it is wrong. You'll heal at your own pace. Don't ask why. There's no reason other than he is a selfish, garbage person. Trying to figure it out does not help. There is no explanation that will help. Once you have healed, you'll be able to find an amazing partner who does not hurt you. Until then, focus on the little things in life. Nashville is a boat today. I fucked up area. Take in the nature, watch the sunset, meet new people. I know how it feels to give up your life for someone only to experience the utmost betrayal. You'll get through this one day at a time. I am so sorry. Just know that everything will be okay. You take it one breath at a time. You will get through this. You will be stronger. You will find the right person. Just give yourself time to mourn and know this: he is an asshole. Marriage lacking intimacy. Really confused at times. Marriage lacking intimacy. How do I change it? I apologize in advance if I rattle on too much. So here goes. I, 27F, am married since February of this year. It was an arranged marriage and it has been going okay so far. My husband, 30M, works a lot and since lockdown his workload has increased significantly. We live with my mother-in-law. So far it's okay at best. The main issue is, as the title states, there is no intimacy. By intimacy I don't mean sex. There's plenty of that, but outside of sex it's like I'm almost invisible. He doesn't seem to acknowledge me outside the bedroom, and even if he does, it's to point out what I'm doing wrong around the house. Sometimes even I get confused as to what the state of the relationship is. Am I his wife or a servant for the house who he fucks occasionally? I don't even know what to communicate to the guy. I want a little hug here and there, a sneaky kiss once in a while, something sweet. Am I asking for a lot? I don't know. WHWN he is not working, he goes and chats up his mother and doesn't even think of me. His mother does tell him to talk to me or something, but it's like talking to a brick wall at best. The last 2 days he hasn't been sleeping in our bed because I'm on my period. It's the first time this happened and it's really driving me up the wall. Divorce is not an option in my community, but damn do I regret agreeing to this marriage. TLDR, Husband doesn't acknowledge me outside bedroom.